Hello, everyone. Today we have with us Mark Lohomeyer, Senior VP and General Manager, Cloud Services, VMware. Welcome, Mark.
Thanks, Sunil. It's great to be here with you today.
Yeah. So I'll get to it straight away. Now, the hot topic continues to be COVID. And when initially the crisis broke 1 year back, a lot of people thought things would return to normal. But
Mhm.
some things have changed forever. Some things could return to normal. So in terms of tech trends, if you could tell us what is this new normal, what has changed and what has remained the same.
Yeah, as I sort of look at it, I think that, at the highest level, COVID really accelerated some trends that were already underway, right? And I personally don't think we're going back. I think those trends are going to only accelerate faster into the future. And, if I think about, my personal experience, right? Working from home for the last year, right? And as part of that, needing to take care of, my family and all sorts of other personal things, I've just become so much more reliant on my online digital experience, right? And whether it's for productivity for myself at work or my team at work, right? Or whether it's how I get access to goods and services, that has all now become completely an online experience. And so now if I take that back to, the VMware customer base, which are effectively enterprise customers that are providing services to their consumers and customers and to their employees, it's really just elevated the importance and priority of two big trends that were already underway. The first is cloud initiatives and public cloud initiatives in particular. Obviously, there was always already a big trend underway for customers to take more advantage of public clouds. COVID has only accelerated that, right? Because that's where they're able to build new applications and new services and be able to scale up and down more readily. So, number one is cloud initiatives. Number two is application modernization initiatives. And we found in our customer base that we did a survey, 90% of them are prioritizing application modernization initiatives as their top priority for the company. And if you think about it again, it makes a lot of sense in a COVID world, right? Because those new applications and services is how they provide value to their customers, is how they differentiate themselves. And so the ability to deliver new applications, to modernize existing applications, is obviously, even more of a business imperative than it was before COVID. So I think, those two trends, they were happening before COVID. COVID sort of kicked them into to turbocharge mode. And, I don't see, enterprise customers going back. I think if anything, they're going to move even faster to the future going forward.
So I guess the tech acceleration will continue even after this COVID crisis is behind us. So another thing like we have heard about is the cloudification of work. This term has also become very popular because the way we are changing, the way we are working has totally changed. Like we're working, we have the mobile workforce, you're working from home. So, I
Yeah.
mean, we are now working on the cloud, basically. I mean, the cloud is the place where we all our workplaces. So maybe if you could speak more about this new paradigm.
Absolutely. I think it's interesting because so many of us have personally gone through this experience, right? And, if you think about it, it's amazing what so many companies were able to do, right? In a matter of, if I think about VMware, for example, in a matter of two weeks roughly from when COVID started to really grow in the US, we were able to move our entire workforce from office-based to the vast majority of them working from home, right? And for the most part, without skipping a beat, right? And I think since then, we've actually seen, productivity increase, right? People are actually more productive in many ways for many types of tasks and sort of different types of work in sort of this online sort of world. And so as we sort of think about and we sort of talk to our customers about how they're moving forward with their employees, a common theme we hear is around flexibility, right? They really want to give, most enterprise customers, they want to give their employees flexibility and choice as to where and how they work, right? And they actually know that not only is that good for productivity, but it's also almost a competitive imperative, right? Because if you're the enterprise customer that doesn't give your employees that choice and flexibility, those employees might go to some other company that does. And so, I think that's probably one of the biggest trends, right? And to your point, it leads to a cloudification of the interactions that we have at work with each other, as well as with our customers and our suppliers and our partners. And so it places a premium on that being a great experience, that being a productive experience. If you think about it from an IT perspective, you care about how that's a secure experience. You care about how that's a reliable, resilient experience, right? And you care about those application services, being delivered with great performance and great availability, to support your employees and to support your customers. So, I think that's the future of work, in my mind, will continue to be, the expectations will be a high degree of flexibility. And again, if you think about back now to one of VMware's enterprise customers, that is going to place a premium on application modernization initiatives and cloud initiatives, because that's the place from which they enable those capabilities for their employees.
So it's like, I know this is great for the employees and even the companies have adopted, but I guess the headaches have increased for the CIO. So, I mean, before he had the office was a fort, he had to secure the fort. Now,
Right.
I mean, it's all over work, data security. So what are the challenges for the CIO in this new environment?
Absolutely. I mean, the CIO has one of the toughest, had one of the toughest jobs in the world before, and it probably only got harder. So I think if you think about what they're the core of what many of them are trying to do, they really want to be a business partner, and they want to enable the digital transformation for their companies that they work for. And they want to do that quickly, right? They want to do that rapidly. They want to be agile. The challenge is that in general, these enterprise transformations are not going as quickly as we all would like. And it's fundamentally because some of these things are actually very hard to do, right? So, for example, taking an existing traditional monolithic application and enabling it to be cloud native, that is not an easy thing to do technically, right? Taking an application that's running in your data center that has been optimized on top of those platforms over multiple decades and migrating that application to the public cloud, that is not easy, right? Customers have tried that for years and years, and many of them still struggle with it. And on top of that, developer skills all around the world continue to be very scarce, right? Getting a great developer organization is hard to do, right? And so you want to make sure you're really enabling them to be the ones that you have to be as productive as possible. And so I think, at a macro level for the CIO, that's the core challenge, which is, their goal is they want to accelerate their company's digital transformation, but some of these core things that they need to do to help make that happen are very challenging. Now, within that equation, VMware, we're looking at how we can really help accelerate those things. And so, we are, one of the announcements we made today was the VMware Cloud, right? VMware Cloud Platform. And you can think about this as a set of modular multi-cloud services. And so these are services that can work consistently across an enterprise customer's own data center, one or more public clouds, and even edge environments. And so customers can now build, run, and manage any application across whatever combination of those environments makes sense for their business, but still give IT a single operational way to do that with great security, with great availability. And so we believe, and we've enabled many customers to help them overcome those challenges. If you think about developer productivity with the VMware Cloud set of services, we've been able to show an 80% increase of developer productivity. If you think about a cloud migration, right, we've been able to show with VMware Cloud, we can take a cloud migration that previously might have taken 3 to 5 years and millions and millions of dollars of investment to re-platform everything. And we can shrink that down to literally moving entire data centers, thousands of applications in a few months, right? And so, we're really focused on helping the CIO overcome some of those challenges and move faster to where they want to go.
And like one more thing about the cloud, like people have a basic understanding of what the cloud is, but then you have the public cloud, private cloud, hybrid cloud, even that people understand. Then I remember I had a meeting with VMware a few years back. That time multi-cloud was being popularized. Now
Yes,
other term I'm hearing is poly-cloud. So all this, I mean, if you could just explain it in brief for our readers.
Yeah, a lot of, I mean, a lot of buzzwords there, right? So, I think let's put this in the context of an enterprise customer, right? Because I think that's a good way to sort of frame it, a real world example, right? So if you think about a typical enterprise customer, they will typically have at least two public clouds, sometimes three, right? And so those public clouds could be, AWS, Azure, Google, Oracle, Alibaba Cloud, sometimes IBM Cloud, right? And so those are the public clouds, right? And an enterprise customer typically will have two, sometimes going down three. And they have at least two because, within their organizations, they have different teams that want to take advantage of some of the unique characteristics of each of those public clouds. And so it's not a one size fits all. So that's the public cloud piece. Now, those enterprise customers also will typically have one or more of their own data centers, right? And you can think about that as the private cloud, right? And that private cloud, typically they're running that private cloud themselves based on a combination of, hardware, software from VMware, and these enterprise applications, traditional enterprise applications that they've optimized around top of that environment for many years. And so you think about that as the private cloud, right? Now, the last piece is interesting. A new trend we're seeing is the emergence of called an edge cloud, right, or a local cloud. And this is not necessarily it's not in the public cloud, it's not in their own big data center, but they're looking to basically enable applications and services in more remote and distributed locations. So if you think about an oil and gas company or an energy company, they need to have compute close to where the energy is being produced, right, to do analytics and other data analysis. If you think about a healthcare provider, hospital, they need to have compute in each of the hospitals, right, serving the doctors and the nurses and the patients in those hospitals. If you think about a manufacturing plant, many of them want to have applications and services running in the plant itself because they need to have a low latency feedback loop between the machines that are basically doing the manufacturing, the data those machines are creating, and a very fast closed feedback loop that sort of optimizes the way those manufacturing facilities are run. So you think about that as the edge cloud, right? Now, if you put all of those things together, right, one or more public clouds, private cloud, and edge clouds, that's a multi-cloud environment, right? It's multiple clouds, multiple deployments. You can use, in my mind, use polycloud interchangeably with multi-cloud. It's, I've got a lot of these different varieties. Now, of course, the challenge for the enterprise customers, okay, how do I provide a consistent operational model, a consistent security model, across these different environments? And how do I give the developers flexibility to build and run and manage any application across whatever deployments make sense for that application? Some apps you want to run them in AWS. Other applications you might want to run in Azure. Other applications you might want to run in your own data center. Other things you might want to run on those edge clouds. And so, that's really at the heart of what we're looking to offer our customers with VMware Cloud, is this modern multi-cloud platform that gives them that consistent enterprise class operating environment across their choice of those different scenarios I talked about before. And so that's what we're sort of excited to announce today is VMware Cloud as this multi-cloud set of modern multi-cloud services.
So just I'll add on one question to that. You talked of the edge cloud, but is 5G important for that? Because India doesn't have any 5G service. So how important is 5G, and then is India missing out on the edge cloud?
So, I could just say in general, there is, I would say, a lot of interest in our enterprise customer base around the world in 5G as a key enabler, right? And if you think about sort of the order of magnitude improvement in bandwidth and latency, and sort of the distributed nature of what that can enable in terms of network connectivity, particularly in these remote environments, exactly like you referenced, we think that's going to be a very powerful enabler. And so if you look at this is another area that VMware is investing in, right, which is sort of enabling the 5G network of the future. And we're working with a variety of telecommunications operators where those same capabilities I talked about before, that core enterprise VMware Cloud set of services, many of these environments are looking to basically take their network function applications that were previously tightly, a vertically integrated software hardware stack, right? And they want to move that to a virtualized environment. They want to be able to run those applications flexibly across a common hardware platform. And into that equation, through this VMware Cloud set of capabilities, we can enable that type of application flexibility on top of industry standard hardware platforms. So we're looking forward to helping customers in that regard, both on the enterprise side, right, where they can take advantage of 5G as a user, basically, as well as into telco environments, which are also large customers of ours.
So like throughout this interview, you have been talking about the cloud in general and VMware's approach to the cloud. So maybe you can sum it up. You can tell us something about VMware Cloud Universal and your unified approach to the cloud.
Sure. So, with VMware Cloud Universal, our focus was really around how do we make it very flexible? How do we enable our customers to flexibly consume those VMware Cloud services I talked about before? How do we give them choice and flexibility? So think about VMware Cloud Universal as a new flexible subscription-based consumption model for that rich portfolio of services that I talked about before. And within that, I'd say there's sort of three big benefits that we're offering customers from a commercial perspective. The first is they can make a single purchase with us upfront, and they get a pool of credits, and then they can flexibly redeem those credits against a variety of subscriptions that are part of VMware Cloud Universal. So at launch, we're supporting VMware Cloud Foundation subscription on-prem. We're supporting VMware Cloud on AWS and the AWS public cloud. And we're supporting VMware Cloud on Dell EMC for a local cloud and edge cloud environment that I talked about before. And customers can flexibly redeem those credits against any of those environments, as well as a rich set of value-added services on top, things like Tanzu for Kubernetes and application modernization services. So choice and flexibility is the first benefit. The second is, how do we help them get economic benefits from an investment protection from previous investments they've made with VMware? And so we have something called a cloud acceleration benefit that's part of this, where the customer can leverage their existing on-prem perpetual VMware software licenses, and they can get credits to be able to use against VMware Cloud Universal subscription consumptions based on that existing investment. So that's sort of the second big piece, is think about it as investment protection, right? Flexibly, sort of convertibility within that from perpetual to subscription. Then the third big benefit is VMware Cloud Universal includes what we call Success 360. This is a customer success program that helps customers basically execute effectively on the use cases that matter to them and get the benefit, rapidly get the benefits of the VMware set of technologies and capabilities. So it includes a success plan, it includes architectural guidance, it includes deployment guidance, best practices. It also includes our highest level of premier support, right? So if issues do arise, you're going to get an expert, to be able to help you with it, help you through it very quickly. So, choice and flexibility, investment protection, and success towards whatever your business goals are, and with best practices and expertise. Those three big things together are what we hope to enable for our enterprise customers with VMware Cloud Universal.
So I assume this flexibility option must be very popular, because people before COVID, a lot of them were just dipping their toes. So they just I'm not sure. Some want to, come board temporarily and then go all in. So I think your flexible options is it very popular among your customers?
Yeah, very popular. I mean, if I think about one example, customer of ours in the United Kingdom, William Hill. So they're one of the world's largest online gaming and betting organizations. So horse races, the Super Bowl in the U.S., and they have a big investment in VMware in their own data center. And then more recently, they've been starting to take advantage of VMware Cloud on AWS. And one thing that they found is with VMware Cloud on AWS, they were able to really, as I talked about before, migrate from on-prem into VMware Cloud on AWS very rapidly in a very cost-effective way. And so when we announced VMware Cloud Universal, they were really excited about this, right? Because they expect to continue to migrate applications from on-prem into VMware Cloud AWS, and that flexible consumption model where I can scale up the public cloud as fast as I want from the single pool of credits, right? I get investment protection for what I might have purchased from VMware in the past on-prem. It's a really powerful commercial model for them and their business model. So that's an example of a customer that's really excited about this.
So is it like safe to say all the large enterprises are on the cloud? Because I mean, work from home, BCP, there are so many issues after COVID. So I mean, I doubt whether anybody's like out. Everybody's in now. Like nobody is really dipping their toes now.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, totally agree. I mean, it's more of a matter of how multi-cloud are you, right? Okay. I mean, everyone's got clearly everyone's got at least one public cloud, as I mentioned before. Right. Most have two. Some are going on three. Right. And for most customers, their data centers aren't going away. Right. That continues to be a key area of investment for them. So yeah, I think it's a very broad-based thing now, right? Multi-cloud. And I think, this, in our view, this is the future, right? This idea of a distributed environment, multi-cloud environment. We think the VMware Cloud set of multi-cloud services is really unique in the industry. We're in a unique position that we can provide these services that work across any public cloud in a consistent way. We've got deep partnerships with each of the major public cloud vendors to help make that possible. And so, we think this is going to be a really powerful platform for enterprise customers for the future as they look to, modernize their applications and as they look to take advantage of multiple clouds.
So I guess it's not, are you on the cloud? What type of cloud are you on? That probably will be the future question.
That's the next question. That absolutely.
Yeah. So I'll just ask one last question. I mean, there have been so many changes, like right now we are billions of devices are being connected by millions of data centers. Then you talked of the applications. So people are getting into application development, new applications, and then, like cloud, multi-cloud, a lot of design changes. So what about the user experience? Can you speak about this new user experience? What you're doing?
Absolutely. I think, the importance of user experience and design, right, has never been higher. And, obviously we all experience this as consumers, right? And, if someone can make it easier, simpler, and more elegant for us to take advantage of their services, we gravitate towards those types of applications. Now, the same is true in the enterprise space in IT, right? And so if you look at what VMware is doing, we have a significant investment in design. Actually, that's part of my organization as well as the design team for VMware. And, there's 300, 400 people in that organization. And, they have a laser focus on how do we make it really simple and delightful for our customers to get the benefits of these really powerful technologies. And, this is a really unique skill to be able to do this well, because if you think about these technologies, they're deep, right? They're powerful, like, hypervisors, virtualization, microsegmentation, distributed storage. I mean, these are complex technologies. And so, we are, from a design and user experience perspective, very focused on how do we make it easy for our customers, for the IT team, for the developer team, to get the value from those capabilities, but expose it to them in a very simple and intuitive way, so they can get the benefits from those capabilities as fast as possible.
Anyway, thank you so much for your time. I mean, technology we can discuss for hours, but I think
Absolutely.
We'll end here. It was great talking to you. Thank you so much.
It was great talking to you too. Thank you for having me.